Davis-Fuhr and Barnabas. Paul's in the other room, my two cats. My turn to do the spirit share. So I would like to tell you about an experience that I had when I was 22. I was on a bus tour in London and I was circling St. Paul's Cathedral on a very rainy, stormy day and got inside the cathedral, and there was this picture by Holman Hunt called The Light of the World. And it's Jesus standing at the garden gate holding up a lantern. It's a very large picture, and the frame is gold, and carved in the frame on the bottom is Revelations 3:20. Behold, I stand at the gate and knock. If ye but hear my voice and open the door, I will come unto you and sup with you, and you with me. And when I heard this, I felt like even I could eat with Jesus. He would eat with me. And it was the first time in my life that I really felt included. I didn't do anything about this. By the way, in that moment, I looked around because the light came in through a high transom window like a beacon shining, blazing on this picture. It actually blew me back. And I looked around to see, was anybody else even noticing this? And nobody saw it but me. And I really felt like this was a special message from God to me, that I was included, that I was okay, that He loved me too. And I didn't take any action on this till I was 28 when I was baptized. I had been raised with no religious training. My parents believed in God. My mother was Jewish, my father was Methodist, and by the time they married, neither of them had any regard for organized religion. My husband Stan used to describe himself by saying, I don't belong to any organized religion. I'm a Baptist. That was his kind of funny. So when I was 28, I was baptized. And I want to fast forward this story about the painting. I did pursue in pilgrimage other versions of this painting by Holman Hunt. There's one at Oxford that I went to see, and it's not as good as the one in St. Paul's. And I had told my relatives who live in Sevenoaks, south of London, about this experience, this encounter that I had with our risen Lord. And when I was visiting them in 2018, for me, because they are not spiritual people, they made a reservation for a private tour at St. Paul's Cathedral. And when we got there, Eric surprised me by being so enthusiastic about my experience and story that I had with this painting. And he was saying, Doreen, tell the tour guide how you first encountered this painting. And when I told her, she was visibly moved by the story and said that the painting used to be in a different location and that she can understand how in its former location that light could have shined on it in that way. We left St. Paul's and went up the river to the National Theater, saw a production of Pinocchio that was incredible. We left the theater and it was rainy and gray and dark, and Eric says, Doreen, look up the river, look at St. Paul's. And I look, and there is a shaft of light coming through this heavy, gray, stormy sky, pointing right on St. Paul's Cathedral. And Eric is telling me, Eric, who makes all kinds of jokes about believing, look, God's shining his light just like he did when you were here before. And then I turned to look at him, and the instant I looked back, it was gone. But he had seen it, and I had seen it. And I thought it was amazing that God used that story, that experience that he gifted me, to impact others. And I'm very grateful that I experience that God is using me, sharing about Him to others. And at this time of social isolation, I want to say that it's so important for us to keep in mind that God is with us and that God is protecting us. And one of my big faith experiences was what I'm living now, that I had lived in trepidation of being alone, being left by all of my immediate family. My brother died when I was little, and my husband died in 2003. And when my mother died 2 years ago, she was the last of any immediate family that I have. And what I learned is that while I am by myself, I'm not alone, and that God is always with me as He is with each of us, and that my friends are my family, my faith family, you are my family. So I'm very grateful for all of my blessings, and I hope that as we go forward, we continue to each grow through this challenging time. Thank you, God,